Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to today's webinar on Broadband's next treasure hunt lies in transition to IPv6. I am Deepthi from MagnaQuest marketing team and I will be moderating today's webinar. In this webinar, we will be discussing about how migration to IPv6 is set to affect the ISP market environment. We will attempt to address the various challenges in this process and how MagnaQuest solution offers a feasible solution to manage your business process. For this, I have Mr. Kashyapa with me. He will take you through today's webinar. But before I hand over the presentation to him, let me introduce MagnaQuest Technologies. MagnaQuest Technologies is a 14-year-old company offering billing, CRM and service fulfillment solution for broadband, IPTV, triple play and VoIP service providers. We have successfully helped more than 150 customers across 30 countries to automate their operations and manage their subscribers. During the presentation, feel free to raise hands or to post a question using the questions window. We will be taking them up at the end of the presentation depending upon the timeline. Now I am handing over the presentation to Mr. Kashyapa Malari.
Thank you, Deepthi. As Deepthi has introduced, I am Kashyapa Maladi from MagnaQuest marketing team, and I'm very sure that today's topic is very relevant for everyone in the world today, because broadband and internet access is more a necessity than a luxury like it was a few years ago. So this is the result of an explosive growth due to high adoption in the internet. But if you examine the result of this explosive growth, we understand that the number of unique devices that we have in the network today, in the internet today, are at any given point are huge compared to what it was a few years ago. So the obvious result of this explosive growth will lead to the exhaustion of IP addresses to uniquely identify each device from another. So at this particular junction of the evolution of internet, technology leaders have introduced the new format of IP6. And this webinar is intended, to address a few basic business challenges that migration to IPv6 is concerned. So if we examine the basic differences between IPv4 and v6, as I have previously mentioned, this migration from IPv4 to v6 is due to exhaustion of the available IPv4s. A basic IP is a representation of a device which, when converted into a binary code, IPv4, it converts into a 32-bit address, which means the number of IPs that you have, unique IPs that you can have at any given point of time, cannot be more than 2 power 32. And obviously this number is not sufficient in today's requirements of internet. And so we have the IETF, or the task force that is responsible for defining the standards of IPs, has come up with a new format of IPv6, which is a 128-bit binary code address. And hence, at any given point of time, there can be 2 power 128 devices connected to the internet. So this actually helps us in supporting the growth that we foresee in the near future. This is the consequence of various factors that we have seen: the growth, the internet increase, and everything. So one of which is the worldwide acceptance of internet. And many countries across the world have started considering broadband from more of an economic need than a business value proposition. These changes have made broadband highly affordable, leading to high adoption. Hence, as any business or market, internet service providers on every level has to gear up for the migration from IPv4 to v6, among which there are many changes that they have to make, among which this is very critical, as this exodus is set to maintain its tempo for the coming years. And the internet on the go and other always on devices are adding to the challenge of ever growing internet users. The recent past has seen a phenomenal increase in the mobile devices like tablets and data enabled mobile phones, And a very popular market research company, Marketware, has done a detailed research of this market and published that a virtually non-existent market till 2008 is now a huge worldwide market consisting of major players across the world, and this is set to increase this market will be explosive. After explosive growth till 2015, we'll see 15 million devices in the market, and this change is directly set to impact the ISP market. In addition to the direct benefits that you have in the IPs, having more IPs, this mammoth scale of migration has its own additional benefits. I mean, we all agree that we need more IPs, but then there are other features that IETF has introduced while defining the new standards for the protocol. Some of the features that are very useful in the coming markets is the multicasting, or a system that has been with limited features in the IPv4 format has been increased in IPv6, which allows one user to connect to multiple users in a much more efficient way than that of IPv4. In addition to this, jumbograms, which play an important part in the optimization of maximum transmission units, has also been improved in the IPv6, which will result in much higher speeds in the coming few years. And routing, which is also an important process in the network, has also been very much optimized. In addition to these features, IPv6 has many added features which can successfully be leveraged to maximize the benefits that an ISP gets out of his offering. I'm sorry. In addition to the direct benefits, we have just seen, businesses are set to reap a lot of benefits from whatever I have highlighted just now. But for that, we need to explore in what ways the businesses should be ready to leverage on that kind of benefits. Due to the set of features that IPv6 has to offer, the software developers or the solution developers have already are already migrating their system, are already seeing that their solutions are IPv6 ready by taking all the due care and the memory allotment in the directories that they write and the directories that they use. In addition to this, people who sell solutions on a hosted model are set to people who sell solutions on a hosted model are set to are taking even more care in seeing that their solutions are ready. And hardware component providers are seeing that their every new model that they launch into the market is IPv6 ready, and they are also seeing that the legacy systems that are existing in the market today are being provided with updates that will make them IPv6 ready. So as I have just mentioned that as the whole internet world is migrating from IPv6 to v4 to v6, it is important to explore the challenges in this migration from the perspective of an ISP. In the current scenario, migration can force service providers to take tough decisions which can affect their current position in the market. However, the service providers have to migrate to the IPv6 due to the exhaustion of v4 IPs. So the big question is, the big question that I would like to ask at this point of time would be, when and how are the ISPs going to migrate? Solution of this starts with exploring and understanding the challenges in the business process migration. An ISP should be able to handle the allotment of both IPv4 and v6 IPs to its customers, as we see that IPv4s have not been completely exhausted, as though they are being consumed very fast, they are not completely exhausted. So the existing IPv4s should be supported, while the IPv6 should also be supported at the same time. this feature is called a dual stack, and it plays a very important role in the ongoing migration process. The auto tunneling, or a process where the data packets of V4 is being converted into V6 and V6 into the V4, plays an important part in the transition part from V4 to V6. So this will allow your end customers to access content from IPv6 only hosts. And in addition to this, proxying and translation of IPv6 hosts, this feature is also important for an ISP to successfully function during the migration time. So now that I have defined or more of explored the challenges that a ISP might face in the transition process from IPv4 to V6. Now let me just give you a brief about our company and its solutions, and how MagnaQuest will be able to successfully help you in migrating from V4 to V6 and stay in the business as a strong competitor in the market. As I've already mentioned, an OSS should be able to manage both IPv6 and IPv4 IP addresses, and a DHCP server should be able to collect the pool of IPv6 that is given to it, and it should be able to allot it on the predefined manner. In the same way, a radius server which implements the AAA function onto various BRAS systems or NRAS systems in the network should be able to function even in an IPv6 environment. The dual stack mode support for IPv6 and V4 capability is a very important part during the migration process, and this people have to invest a considerable amount, should consider this as an important feature, because the transition process is set to take a few years, not just a few months or weeks. Data packet tunneling ability for IPv6 support is also an important part, where where this tunneling feature will not restrict your customers to access V4 content which is in IPv4 format or a V6 format, and this will help you basically boil down all to your customer satisfaction when it comes to business. So if I have to give a brief about a billing and CRM module of MagnaQuest, we understand that billing and BSS and an OSS goes hand in hand, and the ability to integrate and speak with it comfortably in the same platform is a very important thing to do. And since we have, with our experience over 14 years 15 years of experience in the market, we have seen that most ISPs, or if I may say, every ISP except for carrier grade ISPs function on a subscription model. So subscription management plays a critical role in managing the business aspect of the ISP. And in addition to this, pricing and price plan management also plays a very important role in managing prices or price plans, coming up with new price plans, giving new discounts, or many such activities can be done with the help of a flexible price plan and pricing management system. Billing management and receivables management is another critical area, which allows you to completely remove manual efforts towards this, which not just brings down the cost of billing but also increases the accuracy of it, and again, as I said earlier, it boils down everything to customer satisfaction. And a CRM feature, the prospect management, the quotation management in the CRM will actually help a business to manage its basic CRM customer management functionalities with this module. And business and process automation also plays an important critical role in the complete automation of your business. And it basically comes with a integrate and forget feature, where you can directly define all the business rules, and you can let the system manage it automatically. And coming to the OSS features that we have discussed, I don't want to take up much time on this, because I have already discussed about a DHCP server, where MagnaQuest DHCP server has the ability to manage both IPv4 and V6 and the captive portal also has is a highly evolved feature in MagnaQuest. We have successfully implemented for quite number of customers like Hathway and GTPL in India, and a Tanzanian ISP provider, and the AAA server, which is a very efficient server, and we have tested it for in the ISP environment for the Cisco ASR 1K BRAS switch, and SNMP server and policy engine. The policy engine that we have will be able to enforce any very flexible price plans onto the customer environment. So that is what I have. That is up to the presentation from my side. So Deepti, do you have any questions from the customers?
Yeah, some of our attendees have some questions for us. First question is, they want to know the effect on legacy systems on this migration.
Well, as I already mentioned, most hardware manufacturers are producing their hardware with IPv6 ready, and they see the migration to IPv6 as inevitable, and so do we. In addition to this, if a certain model of a network element is not compatible to the changes in IP format, and there are a lot of users for that hardware, the hardware vendors are making sure that they provide an update to their customers, so that this migration does not affect their business. So do you have any other questions?
Yes, we have another question. They want to know what is the estimated migration timeline to IPv6.
Well, the migration to IP from V4 to V6 is inevitable because of the simple logic that we are running out of V4 addresses, and so we have to change. So, but this process can definitely take a year or two, or maybe even more. However, the migration starts with a carrier grade service, and which has already started. And the ISPs, when it boils down to ISPs changing from V4 to V6, these people, the IUTF and the National Network Information Centers are quickly running out of IPs. So this should take maybe very less time, but as I see it, it's inevitable. So do you have any other questions for now?
The rest of the questions, I hope the participants, they'll send it to mail by us. And that was a very good presentation indeed, Mr. Kashyap. And I thank all the participants. I hope all the participants found it informative. Thank you all for your time.